Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Carla Romero and this is Draw With Me. This is a series of drawings where I show you how I take real pictures and stylize them, paint them, and use light and shadows to give them volume. If you didn't see my previous video, I will let a link here so you can check it. It's just how I did a quick sketch based on real pictures. And today I will show you how I stylize, how I paint one of these sketches. I will take the first one of the girl looking a bit startled, and I will start explaining you how, using the method of creating new layers, clipping mask and blending options, I paint them. So I start by using the selection tool in Procreate. You also have it in Photoshop, and filling the layer with basic color. In this case it's a kind of pink I choose for her, but this color will change in the future. Then I create another layer and I add some details like the mouth or the eyes or the nose. And the next following step where I pay much more attention in is the eyebrows, because eyebrows can express emotions. The way that they are placed in the face will tell you a lot about the emotion that the person is feeling. So when I create a character, I try to imagine a full story behind it. She is in a place maybe that she should not be, and she listens to something, or she could see something that makes her worry. So I want to express that with her eyes, her mouth and her eyebrows. The eyebrows will be pointing a little bit up and gonna be really a strong feature of her face. Then I continue by filling the eyes where they're gonna be, placing them, trying to that the character has a direction in the way that she looks to in her eyes. And that's really complicated when you are working with big eyes, but you can accompany that with the direction that the face is pointing, or maybe your hands, or in this case her hair. I see that in the picture her hair is quite symmetric and static. This in a picture, because it is more realistic and has much more information, still allows that the image has some interest for the person who is watching. But in a drawing we have to exaggerate those things. And how do we do it? Adding some dynamism to the hair, for example. So I will work more in the frontal part of her hair, just to give her to give people where they have to watch. So as you can see, I add some details, I modify a little bit the first sketch, and I make some curves to give the impression that it's going to somewhere. And the following thing that I do is to sketch her body. I want to keep it simple because I just want to make a portrait, and I don't want to add details right now that will take me somewhere else, because those are speed paintings and I wanted to make it short and quick. So her body have to say also something about how she is. If we make her shoulders really wide, she's gonna look strong and won't accompany so much the way that she is looking. So what I did was to drop her shoulders down and make her look a bit more longer. So it gives us the impression that she can be a bit weak. So the next thing I do is to try to check that the direction of the eyes is correct and more or less they are well placed in the face. So I just draw some lines over her pupils to see that they are in the same line, because she's 3/4, but doesn't matter how she is looking to one side or the other, the height of her eyes is gonna be always the same. The following thing I do is to take again the selection tool and I create a layer just for her hair. I fill it up with a dark brown color because what's gonna be my intention is to create a kind of mystery image. So how do I do that? Using colors that doesn't have so much saturation, for example. So this is talking with colors. That's gonna be another one of my videos, a bit more extended. And the hair has some movements, have some details that I add in this point. Then I will create a clipping mask, a new layer clipping mask, and add a lighter color to make some details in her hair. But I proceed with her body. I use a dark blue because again I want to keep it outside of the point of interest of the image, so you can focus really a lot in her way to look and her face. So I make it really simple. I didn't want to add many details, and in another layer I create some textures in her face. Maybe I point some of the shadows in her nose, her neck, and the shadow that projects the hair over her face. And in another layer I add a lighter brown color to create the texture in her hair. So as you can see, I do it really simple, just some lines, and then I erase some a little bit some other parts to create a volume on it. But this is not the definite, the final shadowing gonna be a bit different, so it won't affect much. But I think it's interesting to give a bit of texture. Another thing that I do sometimes is to change the background to see how it will look with a darker color rather than a white or yeah. And then I check her silhouette and I see if the silhouette works well in the background, and I add another layer with a kind of violet and multiply blending option, another layer with the overlay option, and using a light yellow brush I go over some details or where I want to that the light is projected. Again, she is hiding behind somewhere, so she's gonna have more light in one side of her face and in the other. I think that this gives to the image a kind of dramatic character, so I think it's really nice to use light to give that kind of impression. The following thing is adding a layer in screen or color dodge. That is one of my favorite way to work. And using a light blue color, I go over some details like the bright in her lips and in her cheeks. And behind her, she's gonna have a light that applies some more dramatic feeling to the image. So it is a cold light that comes from the background and is really strong. And that makes that the drawing will pop up outside of the background that's gonna be darker. I also change the background to match the colors. As you can see here, right now I'm gonna start changing the color of the background. So I use a kind of dark violet because it resembles a little bit to the color of her jacket. That actually is a dark blue, but with the shadows it has changed. In case that you want to add background, yeah, you also have to try to match the color and the intention that you have with the drawing. Here you can see how I apply that strong light coming from the back, and well, that's basically it. I check again the silhouette to see if it works well, and here you can see all the steps that I follow: the multiplying layer, the overlay layer, and the details and the strong light. I know this is really quick, but I want to show you a little bit how I do it in general. This is not always like that. Sometimes I do it a bit different, and but this is a way that I had this time, and I just wanted to show you. So if you have any tip or any question, just drop your comment, and in the future I'm gonna create a more extended tutorial if you like it, and well, if you prefer this kind of format, I also want to have some short tutorials. Thank you very much, and see you next time. And don't forget to follow and subscribe. Bye!